Hi there. Dave here with a video about the in-class version of Flight Log 1C. That's the Seath version. So we made some changes to it. We really improved it quite a bit. And so I want to go over the changes that we made in class. Well, let's see. In main, no changes to main. No changes to the constants. And no changes to begin. Yeah, a change to begin. Actually, we execute a method here called add sites manually. And yeah, there was a change up here in main too. Um, you notice that, well, I guess it wasn't in main, but up in the declarations there was. Look at that. There's our valid sites, and it doesn't have anything in there, so that we're not starting off with any sites. And that's why at the end of begin, we go ahead and load up those sites, the automatic ones. So what we do down inside of automatically is we go ahead and append them. So again, if we're adding to a position in an array that doesn't exist, if we're putting a new one in, then we have to append it. Otherwise, we can pre-allocate things. We can do it other ways, but that's the easiest way to do it. If the space isn't already there, and it isn't, I'm not making space for them. I'm not declaring a bunch of them at the beginning. I'm declaring none of them at the beginning. Once again, if we look at the declaration says that I don't have any of them at all. I have none. I just have an array called valid sites. And at the end of this, I've got 5 valid sites. Now, if I wanted more, well, we put ourselves a method for adding more of them. That was the add sites manually. And so add sites manually, what it does is it goes ahead and asks the user to input a name, and it gives me a 3-character acronym. And then I make sure it's 3 characters long, and if it's not, I put out a message, but I never do see if it's there already, do I? That might be something I could do. In fact, it should be something I should do, right? I shouldn't have multiple instances of the same site in there, but we don't protect against that. So here we're talking about validation. So maybe we could do that. Maybe we'll do it in class Wednesday. Now, what else did we do? Well, down in the middle, we added some stuff in the middle because if it wasn't valid, then we went ahead and printed that it wasn't valid. So at the beginning, we said, well, only do the add to totals if it's valid, but then we never said what to do if it wasn't. So here it says print this, and it does this 3 times, and gosh, we're going to eliminate that 3-time thing on Wednesday. So now we have to do this 3 because we are entering 3 on only 3 sites. We're going to, like I said, we're going to fix that. Let's take a look at how we might do that. Well, we could look at the one that we just talked about right up here. Add manually. Right? This thing keeps adding them as long as we don't say that we're done. That's how this works. So add sites manually starts adding them, and as long as we don't type DONE, and we probably should check to not print this error if it's done. But anyway, we do. We print that it's invalid length if it's done, but we don't. But we also get out of it at the same time because it is done. But here we say if it's more than 3 characters and print this message which says it's invalid, and then it stops. So it does it right, but it prints the message. We probably want to fix that too. All right. Maybe we'll do that Wednesday. Add to totals we made work. That was kind of cool. So the way we did it at the beginning is over on 1C. And we did it with that kind of that fake case thing. And that wasn't a very good way, even if it did work. What we really wanted to do was we wanted to go look through the array of site names until we found the one that we're looking for and then remember that index. And so the way that this works is, well, we set index to 0, and they say while index is less than the length of valid states, in other words, less than the number of buckets that's in the valid states. And so it's going to do everything that's indented here, which is these 3 statements potentially. And it says if the site is equal to, so if the one that we're looking for is equal to the one that we're currently on, right? It's equal to the index one that we're on, then it says break. And so what that does is it stops the execution of the while and goes to the next line after the while, which is this print. And since index was defined to be outside of the scope of the while, it was defined to be a procedure-wide variable. It's available to us, and it got set. Didn't get updated again, right? We hit the break, and it went right down to here. So we have access to the correct tote count so that we can increment the tote count. So here we're taking tote count, the current value at this current index position, the one there where we found the site, and we're adding one to it, and then we're making tote count equal to that new value. Likewise down here for total distance, we're taking whatever distance is the index position of the total distance array. We're adding to that value the distance, and then we're having total distance at that index position point to that new value. That's a much more sophisticated way to do everything. We're getting to the point where everything is generalized. We're not going through asking if it's this site or if it's that site or if it's this site or if it's that site. We're sticking stuff into arrays and then we're going through them. For instance, here we have the valid input. All we do is we just go through the array until we find a match. If we find a match, we return true. If we got all the way through the whole array and we didn't find it, then we're going to execute the line, the return false, which is line number 176. So the only time we're going to return false is if we didn't find it. And what we do if we do find it is we just return true as soon as the instant we find it. We're done. All right. Let's see. Do we make any other changes further down? I don't think so. I think that's it. So we've got some things that could be improved. And we've got this report that needs to be done. So we'll do that in this version here, and I bet we're going to bring some of this stuff from here over to here. We'll do that in class. See you Wednesday.